Actually, there is a name for it. I keep forgetting it. No, I'll look it up on Google. All right, do you guys remember how to divide 142 by 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go to the fourth by 3 by 1.
Yeah, you can't divide 1 by 3, so then you look at the next number, 14. You can divide 14 by 3. How many 3s are in 14?
4.
4. Then you take the 4 and you multiply by the 3. So multiply by the 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Then you subtract, and when you do that, you get 2. Then you bring down the 2. And then you do it all over again. Okay, how many 3s go into 22? 7. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract, and you get 1. Okay, now, back in the old days, back in the 4th grade, you'd say, it's remainder 1. Here's what we're going to do a little bit different in Algebra 2. We're going to say this is a positive 1. So we're going to do a plus, and we're going to take that remainder 1 and put it over our divisor 3. Okay, so this is 47 plus 1/3. It's not harder. It just, you got to pay attention because there's a lot of detail. No, this will not be on your quiz Tuesday. Yes, quiz is Tuesday. Can you what? Yes. All right, so let's do this. Let's put this exact same concept to dividing polynomials. Okay. So, I went over the A's on Tuesday, right, on the quiz review. You guys look it up on Google Classroom, watch the A's, do the B's. I'll go over the B's on Monday. You can have your quiz on Tuesday. Okay? All right, number 1. I have the polynomial x squared minus 5x plus 6. I'm going to divide it by my divisor here. Divide it by my divisor, which is x minus 3. Okay, now a little bit different thinking here. I'm going to ask myself, how do I make this x an x squared? How do I make x an x squared? Multiply by x. Okay, so I'm going to, since it's x to the first, I'm going to put my x here. Okay. Now I follow the process that you learned in 4th grade. I'm going to take that x, and I'm going to multiply it by x minus 3, right? X times x is x squared. X times minus 3 is minus 3x. Okay, then I'm going to subtract. My next step is to subtract. But be careful because you have to subtract the entire quantity, right? What's that going to do with our signs inside the quantity, inside the parentheses? It's going to be negative x squared and a positive 3x, right? Okay, let's combine those. That's what happens. Those cancel out to 0. Negative 5x plus 3x gives me negative 2x. Then I bring down the next. I get positive 6. And then I do it over again. Yep. How do I get x to be negative 2x? Multiply it by negative 2. Okay, so I'm going to take negative 2 times x minus 3. Negative 2 times x. Negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 3. Positive 6. Subtract the entire quantity, which changes my signs. Combine like terms. Ooh, what happened there? All goes to 0. So my answer, when I take x squared minus 5x plus 6 divided by x minus 3 is x minus 2. Now, what 3? If I had a remainder, I would put a number over that, which I think the next problem does. But we'll get to that. Okay. You're probably asking yourselves, well, Mr. D, why are you going through all this trouble? I mean, big deal. We multiply, we do all this tedious work, and we get x minus 2. What do you think that x minus 2 is? What'd you say? It's a solution, okay? It's a factor. This x minus 2 is a factor of x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay? The other factor is x minus 3. If you FOILed these, you would get this trinomial. Makes sense, doesn't it? Hey, guess what? That's your 5th way to find a factor. You can leave it x minus 2. Either one. Yes, ma'am. Well, yeah, because when I subtract the entire quantity, I switched the signs. So I just made that instead of negative, I made it a positive. This needs to be a negative, so I just scribbled out the positive. Okay, kids, are you ready for another one? All right, I have x squared plus 6x plus 2. I'm going to divide it by x plus 1. Okay, how do I make x into x squared? Yep, so I'm going to put it over the x position here. So x times, so I'm going to take x times x plus 1. Okay, so I get x squared plus 1x. Then I'm going to subtract the entire quantity. Now, if you don't want to put the, switch the signs. It's okay. Just remember to do it in your head. This becomes negative x squared. This becomes negative x. So this goes away. This goes away. Combine the like terms. These cancel to 0. 6x minus x, 5x. Bring down the plus 2. How do I get x to be 5x? Multiply it by a positive 5. So I'm going to take positive 5 times x plus 1. It might. 5 times positive 1 is positive 5. I'm going to subtract this entire quantity. So, what? Okay, 5x minus 5x, 0. Positive 2 minus 5 is negative 3. So that's my remainder, right? See, I was switching the signs inside, so if you want to still do that, that's fine. 5x minus 5x is 0. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. So my answer here, x plus 5 minus the 3 over my divisor, x plus. Correct.
Write this.
I started teaching algebra 2 after teachers have been teaching it for a long time. So I use their worksheets. So somebody wrote this.
I was going to say, all you it kind of seems
No, there's a couple of teachers. I think I remember who put that in there. I think I know who did. Tell you. Because you'll just make fun of that teacher. All right, number 3. Okay, my polynomial here. 4x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x minus 1. And actually, I think this is an old worksheet because I really believe it's 3rd grade now. You learn long division. Okay, I got to divide it by x minus 1. Okay, how do I get x to be 4x cubed? 4x squared. Notice how I lined it up here. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes. The leading term. Okay. 4x squared times x. 4x cubed. 4x squared times minus 1 minus 4x squared. I'm going to subtract, bless you, the entire quantity. So I get 4x cubed minus 4x cubed is my 0. Negative 5x squared minus minus makes it a plus 4x squared. Gives me a minus 1x squared. With me? I didn't cross out my signs this time. Bring down my 2x. Yep. Well, yeah. Okay, how do I make this x into a negative x squared? Yeah, I'm going to multiply it by a negative x. Okay. So I'm going to take that negative x, and I have to multiply it by x minus 1. Okay. Negative x times x, negative x squared, negative x times negative 1. Subtract the entire quantity. So this becomes a positive x squared. They cancel out. 2x minus x is a positive x. Bring down minus 1. And what's going to happen here? I'm going to multiply it by 1. Get my x minus 1, remainder 0. So my answer, 4x squared minus x plus 1. And the last one I'm doing. Did they what?
Great.
All right, take my polynomial 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus x minus 4, and I'm going to divide it by x plus 2. How do I make that x into a 3x cubed?
3x.
Good. Multiply it by 3x squared. 3x squared times x, 3x cubed. 3x squared times 2, a positive 6x squared. Subtract the entire quantity. These cancel out. I get 2x squared minus 6x squared is negative 4x squared. Bring down my positive x. How do I make this x into a negative 4x squared? Negative 4x, right? Negative 4x. Okay, so I'm going to take negative 4x, and I'm going to multiply it by x plus 2. Okay, negative 4x times x. Negative 4x squared. Negative 4x times 2, negative 8x. Now subtract this entire quantity. Okay, these cancel. X minus minus is plus, gives me 9x. Bring down my minus 4. How do I make that x to a positive 9x? Times by positive 9. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times 2 is 18. What remainder am I going to end up here with? Well, negative 22, right? Because we're switching the sign. So, my answer? 3x squared minus 4x plus 9 minus 22 over x plus 2. Okay, not too bad, right? It's just very tedious and very detailed, right? Um,